Welcome back to another episode of the Holocore. Today's file: Cursed Dreadblades of the South Seas. Like many of the weapons crafted by the Burning Legion, these twin cutlasses were created with the intent to twist, corrupt, and influence their wielder. Crafted by an Eredar lieutenant by the name of Talgath, these Dreadblades first appeared on Azeroth only a few decades ago. Talgath's role within the Burning Legion was to scout unsuspecting worlds, watch the people and inhabitants who live there, and report back to Kil'jaeden with a plan to corrupt them. Talgath was among Kil'jaeden's most notorious of scouts, and was responsible for crumbling countless nations and twisting the minds of even the most resilient of mortals. One of Talgath's tactics was to prey upon the greed, selfishness, and wickedness of mortals, and watch them compete and slaughter each other for a promise or prize of power. Azeroth's pirates were the perfect target for such an approach, and so the Eredar lieutenant created two beautiful yet extremely deadly cutlasses. The twin blades first appeared in the hands of a sinister pirate whose entire crew seemed to be consumed by an unnatural bloodlust. The pirates would draw the attention of Admiral Dalen Proudmoore, who promptly dealt with them, sending their ship to the bottom of the sea. The blades would later resurface and wind up in the hands of a notorious pirate by the name of Eliza Goreblade, who commanded a small fleet under the flag of the Bloodsail Buccaneers. Upon claiming the blades, Goreblade received a promise of power in the form of a vision. She saw herself leading an impossibly large fleet, large enough to conquer any foe at sea. Every ship they came across would fall before their onslaught, while every coastal city flew flags of surrender in an attempt to escape mass slaughter. The promise of power was exhilarating and within reach. All she needed to do was take it. With the Dreadblades in hand, Eliza Goreblade and her crew started a new chapter of tyranny on the South Seas of Azeroth. Soon, every pirate across the South Seas knew of Dread Admiral Goreblade and her murderous crew. No longer did these pirates attack and pillage for the sake of excitement, gold, and adventure, but rather for the sole purpose of spilling blood. Even other Bloodsail Buccaneer fleets grew cautious of Goreblade's crew, and when they attempted to intervene, Eliza and her crew turned on their pirate brethren and stole one of the Bloodsail's most prized ships. Eliza and her crew had become so twisted and warped by the dark presence of the blades that their bodies had begun to wither and fade, turning them into cursed undead remnants of their former selves. Eventually, Talgath revealed himself to Eliza and her undead crew, reassuring her that the power the blades had given her thus far was merely a drop in the ocean of the Legion's vast, incomprehensible strength. In exchange for the Legion's promise of immortality and untold potential, Eliza offered up the souls of her crew and eagerly swore herself to the Legion's coming war. When the Legion eventually began its invasion, Eliza's cursed crew would be ready, eagerly waiting to spill the blood of Azeroth's brave defenders as they raced across the sea to the Legion's staging grounds. And although these cutlasses had earned an infamous reputation in the eyes of pirates and sailors alike, one thing was certain: neither fate nor fortune could compensate for the atrocities committed by them, for weapons as bloodthirsty and wicked as the Dreadblades were no true treasure.